Please, Stereo, will you?
All right, welcome to another episode. This is the Professor of Pizza, the Chancellor of Cheese, the Sultan of Sauce. Yes, I'm losing my mind. All right, we're going to move on and start doing some. All right, boys and girls, just going to add this little amendum to the end of the video. I said when AD shifted right, I said in the video price went down and output went down. It's actually the opposite. Price went up and output went down. See again, price and output both increased because AD increased. Okay, shown by the rightward shift. As far as this one goes, where they're multiplying it by the 50,000, it's because they're buying a bond and the whole amount of money is going in. They've already had the reserve. So in these kind of questions, you might want to say 50,000, 5 from the original deposit, 45 from the loan would be a way to get around it. Okay, also, if you wanted to know the answer to the music video question, it was both songs. One is by Bob Marley, and the cover is by Eric Clapton. All right, guys, take care. Just do what you know. Okay, don't go. I can't emphasize enough. Don't go to the answer key yet. Then you get to identify an open market operation that can restore full employment. You can't remember one. You say lower taxes. All right, Jeffrey. That's fiscal policy. All right, so then we realize that we're looking at reserve ratio, discount rate, and open market operations. So we're going to say buy bonds. Then you draw don't worry, and if you get that one wrong, big deal. Draw a correctly labeled graph of the money market, and then so we're going to draw the X and Y axis, nominal interest on the Y, quantity of money on the X, okay? And then what happens is because we bought bonds, the money supply increases. So the money supply, which is a vertical curve, shifts to the right, causing interest rates to fall. How will that change in interest rates identified in Part C affect aggregate demand? Well, consumption and investment are interest sensitive. So when interest rates fall, the two of them will increase. Since both of them are components of aggregate demand will increase, shown by a rightward shift. Okay? That will cause the price and output to both fall. And that was part E. So instead of doing the open market operations, see in this part they're either going to say actually use fiscal or they're going to say just wait. Okay, so they're asking us just to wait. We talked about this right before we went on hiatus. This is where we wait. Wages go down, prices fall. The aggregate supply curve shifts to the right. And so we have short run aggregate supply curve shifts to the right. Output rises, but price level falls. Okay, it's the opposite of stagflation. Okay, so you just jot all that down. You can fill it out right on this sheet. Okay, and then when you're done, go to the next question, or I would go to the next question, all right? So we come here and we say, assume that a nation's savings in the United States increases. So we know that savings affects supply. Therefore, the supply of loanable funds will increase, shown by a rightward shift. How do I know it's loanable funds market? It says real interest rates. Okay, so we draw a graph if we want to. The graph shifts to the right, real interest rates fall. What does that do in the United States on the demand for the United States dollar? Well, if we have low interest rates, people don't want our money. Okay, so the demand for our dollar goes down, which means the value of our dollar depreciates. What does that do to imports? Well, it makes imports more expensive, but it makes exports cheaper. So exports rise, imports fall. All right. Again, just jotting down what you know. All right. I don't expect anyone to get all of this right. Okay, I take that back. I expect Tessie to get all of it right, share it with Kyle, and then Kyle gets it all right. All right. The Federal Reserve buys $5,000 in bonds from Clark Consulting with deposit the money in a checking account. As a result, what is the change in the money supply if the reserve ratio is 100%? Well, that means the money supply only changes by the 5,000. Okay, again, throw away part. If you can't get it, don't worry about it. If the required reserve ratio is reduced to 10%, okay, calculate the following. The maximum amount this bank could lend from this deposit. So 10% of 5,000 is 500, right, which means they can lend out 4,500. the maximum increase in total money supply from the purchase of bonds is 45,000 because you get the multiplier 1 over 0.10. Multiply that by the 4,500, and you get 45,000. So what happens if some banks keep the excess reserves? How will this influence the change in the money supply? Less money will be created because the multiplying effect will be less because they're not lending out all the money that they can. What if they hold money for some form of currency? Again, the two assumptions we must make is banks lend out all their excess reserves and people redeposit all their money. If one or both of those doesn't happen, then we won't be able to get the maximum amount from the economy or from the buying of the bond. Okay, now, once you're done with all that, you look it over, right? Now, I'm not looking. I see nothing that you've done. I then flip over. You go to the answer key. Okay, you look at your graphs. Ignore this one. You look at this. You see the output, YF. Boom. We shifted to the right. Below full employment, 3 points. Then we come. Money supply shifted right. Interest rate fell. Blah, blah, blah. Wages or other production costs would fall. AF shifts to the right. Talked about all that. Okay, increase in the supply of loanables. So we come down here. Supply of loanable funds increases, shifting the curve to the right. Interest rates fall. Financial assets become less attractive. The demand for the US dollar would decrease. Guys, you just did all of this in worksheets, right? So, and then we look, imports decrease, exports increase. We come over here, we see the 5,000. You can do the 50 times 5,000, right? I would do 45 and 50. Decrease the money would be less than 50, blah, blah, blah. Change anything that's wrong, then upload that into Google Classroom, and that's going to be your assignments. Now, I'm not giving you anything for tomorrow because I know everybody started today and bombarded you guys with stuff. I want this. We're going to start with the 2005 macro AP question. Okay? So you're going to do parts 1, 2, and 3. Those will be due on Friday at 4 p.m. Okay? So that's your assignment. You take tomorrow off from my stuff. And then, again, I'm giving this to you so you can get going. We're going to do 2005, and then I will set up a schedule for the other ones. And once or twice a week, probably twice a week, I will do a Nearpod. Nearpod I'll do 3 times a week to answer questions. We'll Zoom at least twice a week. Okay? Because I know this is challenging for you guys. You're not sure of what you're doing wrong. The videos, I feel like Jimmy Fallon performing in front of an empty studio. All right, so anyway, if you listened to me long enough. All right, guys, enjoy your evening.